What's up, everybody? It's your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog, the author of Smartphone Millionaire: How to Invest in Real Estate from the Palm of Your Hand. Business, real estate, people, you know it right here. Grab the book. It's on Amazon or in the links below. Everybody, I have a special guest today. I have to thank him in advance for his time. He is a busy man. But I brought on Sub Zero. His channel is actually Sub Zero. It'll be in the links. He is actually in the tech industry, used to be in the real estate industry. He's got a really great story. We're going to share some of this information today. But the show essentially is about the booming industry in tech and how he contributes to it. And we already know with our private Facebook group, many of y'all are already broken into a study group for Salesforce. So this may be an even better opportunity for you guys today. So welcome to the channel, Sub. Introduce yourself.
Hello, like she said, I'm Sub-Zero 3639, country boy, born and raised in Montgomery, Alabama, live in Atlanta, just moved from Sandy Springs to Decatur because I want to be by my people. So that's, I moved to Decatur. I like it. It's location-wise, I'm near historic Decatur downtown. Loving the area, loving the people. I've been doing IT for about 8 years. Currently I teach students on a nightly basis, 5 days a week. So that's about it.
So you're in the industry. Everybody, if you could, in the comment section, put your city and state, because he is out of Georgia. And I was going to ask you about Marietta, Georgia. I mean, I heard there's so many tech companies moved down there. What's going on down there?
Well, actually, I would say Alpharetta, which is like adjacent to Marietta.
Mm-hmm.
Alpharetta is our little Silicon Valley, if you will. Like, and it's not just Atlanta that's like that. I mean, you got, like, I think Baton Rouge is another one. Baton Rouge, Charleston, Nashville. Those cities, they're, it's tech. In fact, I think Google just announced
Raleigh, Charlotte.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, of course, Charlotte and Raleigh, Durham, all that. Yeah, but it's a lot of little tech hubs that if you're in this industry, you can really make a substantial amount of money. When I say substantial, I'm talking about, north of six figures.
Mm-hmm.
You can do that. Now, of course, not just your first job. I wouldn't advise going to get a six-figure job, your first job. But once you hit that 3-year mark, that seems to be the magical, just in my industry and what I do. That's the magical number where you can jump north of $50 an hour and hit the six-figure plateau.
So you go higher. $50 an hour?
Yeah, you could. I was at 50 an hour probably 4 years in.
So what I tell people a lot of times is I go, look, man, I got friends. Hold on. Excuse me. I've got friends who make $55, $53 an hour, and people be like, oh, you full of crap, Erica, you lying. Or that's Austin. It's so different. And I'm like, nah, you can do that in Georgia. You can do that in Nashville. You can do that in North Carolina. You can do that a lot of places. So yeah, $50 an hour, 3 years in. And like, what drew you to tech?
Okay, so if you go back to the 90s, I was supposed to be an N1 ball player, right? I'm real cool with Hot Sauce. He knows me. I used to be up at the gym, and me and my brother used to play ball all the time. We had a mobile car wash. I lived in Atlanta. Loved it. This is when I first got out of high school. And this right when the N1 was about to take off. And we used to do this guy's car. And the guy always had fly suits because we had a mobile car wash. We were one of the first mobile car washes in Atlanta. But this guy always had fly suits, bad women. I'm like 18, 19. I was asked, my brother asked him one day, like, hey, what do you do? And the guy said, hey, I'm an IT consultant. I do Oracle. Right? And so my brother has a real high IQ. He has like a 3.8 GPA, real intelligent. He went and applied for Oracle and talked his way in there and got in. And they flew him out to San Francisco, and he was trained at Oracle University, and he was a consultant for Oracle for about 1.5 years. They sent him to KPMG. They sent him all over doing different stuff as a consultant. And that's when I first heard those, what I call astronomical numbers of, 100. Back then, he was, in the tech, during the tech bubble in the 90s, people was getting 130. People still get that now, like 130, $140 an hour, but it was much more rampant back then. Like, my brother was getting billed out. They were only giving him they were giving him $30 an hour. And this was back then. Now, he thought that was good money coming from where we come from. It was. But the guy one day told him, said, man, this company's paying, we're paying Oracle $140 an hour just for you, just for your services, not to mention everybody, your whole team, And when you buy Oracle, they sell you the consulting services, and that's when they send people out to fix stuff. So that's when he decided to go on his own. He jumped out and he jumped up. His first job, he jumped up to like 95. And then from there, he jumped north of 100. I mean, he's the average. My brother's averaged over $200,000 a year probably the last 10, 12 years. So from there, I knew that, I was still playing basketball in college. I did modeling in New York. I, flipped houses, a full-time real estate investor. But I always knew in the back of my mind that when I spoke to my brother, with me having a business and information systems degree, that I could always jump into IT if need be. So the tech bubble happens. I become a produce manager making $30,000 a year. And I was like, man, I should at least be making triple this. So
wait a minute. That story was hopping. Now that story was hopping. Hold on, wait a minute. Now your brother went and said, boom, study, got it, talked his way in. You were making a bunch of money with real estate. You were flipping houses, and then all of a sudden you were a grocery manager. That's a story, man.
Let me tell you, the housing bubble. What happened? The housing bubble happened, right? I had my last little bit of money. And I just had this brilliant idea. Let me go start a comedy club. There are only 3 Black-owned comedy clubs in the United States. We were the 3rd one at the time. This was 2009. About 2009. Yeah, around up in there. So I go and start the comedy club. And where I'm from in Montgomery, they didn't really take too kindly to it. I ain't gonna say they didn't really support and patronize the comedy club enough to keep the lights on. I had a partner. Me and him didn't get along. We kept arguing. I tried to say, he said he'll buy me out. So I said, okay, man, look, you can have it. Well, he didn't pay me a dime. And he just, maybe about 3 weeks later, he shut the doors, didn't tell me. And that was it. That was my, short-lived 4 or 5 month adventure as a comedy club owner. So from there, I'm broke, making nothing. And so I had to go get something like now. And so I first worked at the airport, which was a job I actually wanted, but I didn't want it when that was the only income I had. Then I got a job as a produce manager. When I got the job as the produce manager, it messed me up because I was in there. I was getting talked to any kind of way.
Yes, you know how they talk to people at the grocery store.
I was getting, it wasn't the customers. The customers were actually nice. It was actually the people that worked there, how they talk to you, how they treat you. If anybody that's familiar with the grocery industry, when food is out of date, like I was working in the perishable, which is produce. You have perishables like meat and produce. Well, the produce section, if they find out of date food, like certain things have stamped dates on it, right? And so you have to pull every morning. So when I would get there, I would pull. Well, somebody would come behind me and find something, and literally they would be on my behind about it every day and talking crazy. And so when I would be off during the week, they would pull. Well, I would come in, and one time I found something that was 3 months old that had been out of date for 3 months. And I'm like, okay, so you guys been in here pulling behind me all these times when you've been talking about me, but you missed something. And, so of course I got fired from there because I had mouth. And plus, when you come from making $90,000 in 30 days off a real estate transaction, and you making $600,000 in a year, you're not gonna really do too well making $30,000 a year. Because I didn't value. I was like, this is nothing. This is tough, And I had to kind of become a little bit more humbled, but I was a little cocky. I will admit, I was, because I was used to making a substantial amount of money with minimal effort in real estate. And, at the time, the housing bubble was going on, and it wasn't like it used to be. So I had to kind of humble myself and eat some humble pie and go in and take these little menial jobs. And I knew then that I was like, man, I'm going to study and get into IT. If I'm going to work and I'm going to punch a clock, because I'm going to get back into IT, real estate, I'm going to get back into business, I'm going to do that. But if I have to work, my floor should be at least 6 figures. If you're gonna get my time, I at least need $2,000 a week or more. Otherwise, I don't think, I don't see it. I just don't see going and working. You taking 50 hours, 40 hours for me to make, $800, $700 a week after taxes. No. That to me is what, I think a lot of us as black people have sold our souls into doing is we time pedal. And, to me, time is the most precious asset you can be given. So if I'm gonna do it, I'm not saying I want to sell time, but if I do, I'm definitely gonna sell it for a premium of a price. Because you really, when you work a job, you're giving that person your life force, your energy to help them build wealth. That's what you're doing. We don't look at it like that when we punch a clock.
Well, see, here's my problem. I hear a lot on the YouTube is like people like, or on Facebook, oh, it drives me crazy. A job is just over broke. And a lot of times I go, no, your job is just over broke, right? Like you're not making 100,000 a year because, prime example, I'll give example of my friends who've been making 100,000 since they were 22 years old out of college. Well, now they're 32. 10 years later, they've got houses, they've got cars, they're going on trips, but people didn't see where they've been doing this job for 10 years, right? There's all these people saying a job is just over broke, but like, yeah, a produce manager in comparison to is not the same as a tech person. I'm sorry, right? And there's a lot of comments in the comment section, which we're gonna go over. And there's 102 of y'all in here. Definitely hit the like button if you like the information. If you can hear us, put a 1 in the comments so I can make sure, because I didn't wear my headset today. But like, literally, oh, thank you, Cam. Everybody, Cam's back. He made Marcus recovery from the flu. But I was gonna say, someone was in here saying, let me see if I can find it. They said in Atlanta, the baseline is 50, but developers and architects can definitely score double. Cybersecurity is paying $100 an hour with some companies in NYC. So there's money to be made for sure. But I think that's what people don't understand is when I think it's a skills economy right now, right? Like, yeah, you can make the money using, flipping houses, but every time I've talked to somebody who was making killer money before the recession last time, flipping houses, they had no backup, they had no reserve cash, they had like no money put aside, like every money went into every deal and they just kept flipping. And it's really tough. So you got the job at tech, right? You studied, and then what happened?
Well, I got in. Well, first of all, my skill set, let me explain what I do. I do business intelligence. I'm a BI developer. Only thing I don't do is cubes, which is just a fancy way of saying storing data. Let's just put it like that. Storing historic data, right? You got data warehouses, but the cube is basically how you access that data. I'm a data guy, pretty much, if you can't tell. I do reports. I do ETL packages, which is another fancy way of saying extracting, transforming, and loading data somewhere else. I do T-SQL development. I do store procedures, triggers, whatnot, whatever functions. I develop, I code, but it's SQL. It's a language that is specifically to databases. That's what I do. And so once you know one of them, you can easily migrate into, like, if you know MySQL, you can do T-SQL. You know T-SQL, you can do PL/SQL. You know PL/SQL, you can do all, Teradata. You can do PostScript, whatever, SQL. So you can kind of, that's what I do. I got in. I've been on different projects. Some of them I've been fired. I keep it a buck. I don't lie to people. Yes, I've gotten fired. I got fired a lot early on, very fast, because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. But I was cool because you got to understand, now I went from making $400 a week to $1,400 a week, $1,500 a week, $2,000 a week, right? So when I would get fired, I would have $8,000 to $10,000 in the bank, and I can hold out for a month or two until I get another job. And it really doesn't take that long. It takes me probably maybe a month to find a job. That's probably the most. That's on average. When I lose a job, that's how quick it takes me to get a job. About 30 days, and that's if I'm really looking. If I'm not looking, it can be longer. But that's because I don't care half the time. And the reason I don't care is because I got money in the bank and I've got other things going. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm doing other things, but I've been able to afford this lifestyle because I've been able to get, save and budget. And it's hard to save and budget when you make $460 every Friday, which is what I used to make as a produce manager.
Yes. I keep telling people make more money, but I know they get offended. They're like, Ericka, what about money management? Yes, you need to manage your money. But at the end of the day, if you have a problem managing $400 a week, like you can just divide that by 7 days a week. You know what I mean? Like, what I'm trying to get people to see is everybody's not going to start a business. One, I said on O'Shea channel, make sure I keep saying it. But in the latter of things, if you're telling me, Ericka, I want to invest in real estate, I want to have passive income, I want to be able to retire, something's going to have to happen here. You're either going to have to own a business or you're going to have to get your skills up and make more money. Like I keep trying to tell people, I have friends who take 6 months off work because they're like you. They done saved all their money. They making 8-10 grand a month. And so, a company lets them go or gives them a severance package. They don't even care. They take 6 months and just enjoy themselves. We have one guy right now who literally is in like somewhere in Tokyo or Korea or somewhere. He's somewhere from our church group, and everybody's like, man, what happened to your job? He's like, oh, I got fired. My group got let go or something. Something happened. But that's just it. When you make more money, you can take 3, 4, 5 months off. You can put it into some other project. You can put it into some other thing that's your passion or whatever you want to call it, but you can buy income producing assets. People are fighting me when I just say, hey, can you put $25 a week into, lending club or apps or investments or, rich uncles, anything. And I'm like, if you're struggling with $25 a week, you don't make enough money. Now, on the flip side, 6% of people making 100,000 more a year don't have any savings, but that right there, that's a money problem, right? So go ahead.
Yeah, that's a money problem. Right? And it's funny you say that because I'm literally maybe 1 or 2 X's away from when you called. When I talked to you a second ago before we had this meeting, I was out walking the yard at Manheim at the car auction. And shout out to Shamel Leonard, the auto dealer business school. She has a YouTube channel, a little small YouTuber. Shameless plug, I'm sorry. But a friend of mine, and me and her, she's actually my mentor. She's teaching me the business of buying and selling cars. I had to pay her to get in, but I paid her. I have to pay for setting up my license, and I have to have money to buy cars. Thank God I got it. I got enough money. If I want to go buy 5 or 6 cars tomorrow, I can at the auction and just start selling cars and replace my income. You get freedom when you can actually have money in your pocket to replace that money that but when you're making, like you just said, 500, 400, you can barely stay above water. So yeah, you'll struggle to save $50 if you're making 500. But if you're making, let's say every 2 weeks you get a $5,000 check, you could probably save $1,000 or a couple, maybe $2,000 every 2 weeks. You could probably righteously save $4,000 and live a nice lifestyle with that other 6. If you want to. And I'm not trying to say this like it's not. It's not. And a lot of times, what I feel in the Black community, and I feel this when I'm on YouTube, is I feel like a lot of times when you talk like this, people think you're trying to show off, or people think you're trying to belittle them or be condescending and speak down. No, and that's why I started teaching. That's why I started teaching people, because I wanted to show people that, look, I'm no better than you. You don't have to be this nerd genius who sits in a cubicle all day coding, and that's all you do. Your whole life is code, and you got 2 million lines of code and you're trying to read it. And no, that's not what IT is about. I know people in IT that aren't the brightest in the world, and they're making 150,000. It's not what you think. It's just a skill that you learn, just like driving a stick. A lot of people don't know how to drive a stick. Once you learn, you don't even give it second thought. Or swim. Some people don't know how to swim, but once you learn how to swim, people jump in the pool and play for hours and don't give it any thought. And that's how IT works. Once you understand something, you understand the language and what it's saying, what these lines of code are saying, you're not intimidated at 500-600 lines of code. And because you're like that, it puts you in a circumstance where you can actually change your life. I tell my students, you've changed. I got 5 students that are pretty much ready to interview. One of them has already gotten the job. His name is Mark. Mark has gotten the job. Lima is, I think we're waiting on a call for her. She's been She's aced a few interviews, but Lima's real good. She took my course. I trained her. Lima, she's doing pretty good. She's done well on interviews. I got a guy named Richard, Drew, and one other student that's we still kind of working on his resume, but he's close. I'm just interviewing him. But that's why I'm training people, because I think in IT, it's dominated by Indians, Asians. Every time I go on a project, all I see is Indians, Asians, whites. And that's why when you go to these suburbs, you see these houses for $400,000, you're like, how do they afford that? Because these people make enough money where it's not a big deal. But how do you get there? You get there by starting, somebody has one of us. This is what I don't like about the talented 10th in our community. A lot of them don't come back. I had a guy tell me before I started teaching this class, man, they're not going to be, most black people, he said it, he didn't say intelligent, but he said most black people basically, in so many words, saying they don't have the intelligence to grasp IT and you're wasting your time. That's what he told me. If I come back and try to help people, man, if they were gonna be there, they'll be there. You wouldn't have to go find these people. The reason they're not in this industry is because they don't have the what he said, the problem solving skills to do IT. That's what he said.
So here's the problem with that, right? Here's the problem with that. People don't know. Like I don't know how to explain it to you, but I grew up in military towns, and I would go to the Barnes and Nobles all the time, and I would look in a second section, and all it would have was ASVAB books or AP books for college. I go to Raleigh, North Carolina, which is literally less than an hour up the road, and every section of every Barnes and Nobles is full to the brim with IT related books. But imagine living in a town that's majority Black, a military town, and there's no books talking about that. So people are not exposed. Like I tell everybody, every time I moved, when I moved to Raleigh, when I moved to Alabama, when I moved to Charlotte, when I moved to Texas, every time I moved, I would meet people with jobs I've never even heard of. Right. So I had an Uber driver driving me one time, and I had a tech guy in the car seat with me. We were both in the back seat, and we're talking, and he's like, what do y'all do? I was like, well, I'm a consultant. And he's like, well, and the guy said, yeah, I'm a consultant as well. And he's like, everybody's a consultant. And instead of the Black Uber driver being like, well, what type of consultant? Like, what do you do? He had an attitude, like kind of like a whatever, right? And I want to go, you just missed out on an opportunity for this other Black guy in the back seat with me to tell you that he does this. Like he works at EA Sports in Austin. Like you just missed out that whole opportunity to learn about tech. And I think it's not that Black people aren't capable. I think it's lack of exposure. Same with the Hispanic students. They've literally been studying Hispanic children in Texas for 20 years. And guess what? 95% of the children, you know what they do? They go get the same jobs as their parents. It's just lack of exposure. It just truly is. Like when I'm out with my friends and I went snowboarding, somebody was like, oh, you hanging out with all them white and Asian people? And what's funny is two of the Asian people in the group are married to, one is an Egyptian and one's married to a Black girl. And they met at work. They met at IT jobs. They're both engineers. And so, them investing is completely different, right? And so even when I do this channel, I talk to people about, if you got, if you and your spouse are making $10K a month, there's no reason why in 2 to 3 months you and your spouse can't have rentals or can't have other investments. The money's there. It's just the choices. It's the lifestyle creep. So,
I mean, that's it. And that's what, I think people use these flimsy arguments, whimsical arguments, like the IQ argument, Black IQs are lower and Black, they use that stuff to justify, a lot of people do, to justify not coming back and doing the work that needs to be done. I'm not trying to shame anybody that's in the tech industry that's listening. Don't feel like I'm trying to shame you. But if you're in the industry, we should reach out, find ways. I've actually got a few brothers and sisters that have reached out to me that want to start teaching themselves, teaching in their country. I got some people in the UK that have reached out to me. Man, if what we need is people that, because I got one skill set. I'm a certified Salesforce administrator as well, but I don't know security. Like most of the people I see that do security are, a lot of times when I see Black people, because when you go to these community colleges, this is where we get messed up. And you probably need somebody to hold your hand and tell you what to go into, because what happens with this security stuff is kids get exposed to it. They go to the community college. The community college gives them A+ and
And next thing you know, you got a doggone, tech support job making $15 an hour. And you're like, this is nowhere near what I thought I was going to make, because we don't have somebody coming back telling us, no, if you're going to do it, do this type of certification, do this type of, if you're going to go into networking, do this type of networking, because you could go into networking and get funneled into making $20 an hour. You can. Or you can go and make, the six figures like somebody was just talking about, $100 an hour. I've heard that enough. I don't know. I'm all I know is what I do. I know my aspect. I know the back end, the data. I know data. I don't know front end development. I don't know networking. I don't know. I do know front end developers make a lot of money depending on what you do. And systems administrators, networkers, they can make a lot of money, but it's what you do, what skill set, because you can get in the wrong skill set in networking and be a doggone tech guy answering the phone telling people to unplug their laptop.
You man, can. People I hear talking about, man, I started in tech and I left and I started doing trucking and other stuff. And I'm like, but you could have made 100,000 in tech. What you talking about? Right? Like, trust me, I hear a lot of stories. And also people don't research. Listen, I had a friend. There's two women I know in Austin. I'm being careful because they might watch the show. They were making $30,000 less than the person beside them because they didn't negotiate their contract. Like, shame on their boss for one, for even offering them so low money, but they didn't know. So one time the girl went on Glassdoor and she went to go review salaries and she was like, oh, hell nah. She went up in there ASAP and was like, no, you got to pull me up. Oh man, well, what if we promote you to this manager over these people and give you 10 grand? And she's like, so now you're going to double my work and only give me 10 grand? On top of it, right? So she literally had to just leave the company. And she was like, that's insulting. Like, she literally at one point was working like a part-time job helping some other tech company. And she was like, I'm over here killing myself working 2 jobs. And I just talked to my neighbor beside me and found out he's making $30,000 more. And I've heard that happen over and over, that women don't negotiate their salaries. But that's the sad part. It's like, you need to be using Glassdoor and LinkedIn. You need to be finding out. People need to be competent about their careers. And what I'm finding is a lot of people like to coast. Well, I'm doing all right. I'm making 40K a year. I'm just going to be happy with what I'm doing. And that to me is not so much that it's just sad, but it's like, you're not living to your fullest potential. You're not even researching for you. Why should other people care about you if you don't even care about you? Right?
I mean, that is the key. I think we don't focus on, what we can make in these industries. And if you go to these community colleges, and I'm not knocking community college because I played ball in JUCO first before I went to Tuskegee. So, but I'm going to tell you, once you get in these colleges, they just want to get you to pay your tuition and get on. They're not going to tell you. So you go and do certifications in A+, or I have no certifications apart from this Salesforce. And I got that after I've been in IT for 7-8 years. I just got it last year. I didn't really technically need it. I got it because it's something I wanted to learn, period. That was it. Other than that, I didn't need the Salesforce certification. But people I know that have certifications that went that route, I used to say they don't pay as much because a lot of times when I see people with those, they go to these community colleges and they get screwed. You need to do research. You need to go to dice.com. You need to go to the occupationoutlook.gov, and you need to look on there, see what the job pays, what are the requirements. As far as I'm concerned, you take my course, I don't charge the $400. I tell you right up front before you call me, it's $400. And I work with people's budgets. I take $100 here, $100. I don't care. But once you get out, I got students going for 45 and 40, $35, $40 an hour first job. That's it.
Oh, the funny thing, you guys, the reason I brought him on the show is he was on O'Shea channel and he was talking about, $40, $50 an hour. And there were literally tons of black dudes talking about that ain't no money. And I said, let's do some real math. I love Blended Camera because he'll pull your card, right? He'll go, look, if half of America that's working is only making $30,500 a year, half of America, and the household income is $57,000 or so, right? That means 2 people in a house working. When someone sit here and say $40 and $50 an hour is no money, They're lying to you. They're bold-faced lying to you.
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why I like your channel, because you come with information. I actually did a video a while ago where I was going after the people that talk about IQs and stuff, because people from foreign countries with IQs under like 70, 72, 73, when they come to America.
Yep.
Yeah. And a lot of some Asians, of those Asians, like Laos, those people IQs aren't even higher than African Americans. They come over here and average $85,000, 89, 90. And you're looking like, these people have low IQs. Why are their income? These people are coming over here out producing whites who's supposed to have this super high IQ of 100 or higher, because they understand what industries to go into. And you're right. I have people come and tell me it's not any money. But my thing is, if you know so much, if you know where you can make $60, $70, $150 an hour, why aren't you helping your people?
Thank you.
You don't just come in the comment section. If you don't come in the comment section and dog out somebody who thinks, hey, I'm from Alabama, I'm a country boy, okay? Most people I know, I'm from in Montgomery. They put out a job for Hyundai, the manufacturing plant. They put out a job. They said they're gonna give 800 jobs. They had 22,000 applicants, most of which were black. All these black people I see in the comment sections on my videos. I said my brother's making $130. I was like, that's no money. Like $130 an hour ain't no money. Shit, man, you talking about damn $5,000 a week? That ain't no money. A doctor makes about 200 on up. Now, some doctors make 800, depending on plastic surgery. But you got the average doctor, they'll be making like 250 to 300. That's close to that. But you got to go to medical school for 10 to 12 years to get there. And you telling me that with a bachelor's degree and with the right moves, I can make 150, and you telling me that that's nothing? When we look at the national, when you came on the video in the comment section, you went to the numbers and you said, no, the average household income is this. If you're making this, you making it. She was just saying 80. You were saying 80,000 is way higher. As an individual, if you're making $80,000, you're doing damn good. I don't give a damn if you live in New York, California. That's good money.
Oh man, see, and that's why I love going on there, pulling the card. Like, I just want to pull, like, we can go back and forth talking about all these silly topics on Sunday Rumble, but at the end of the day, like, no matter how much they fight what I say when I come on there, it comes down to money. A lot of the problems people are experiencing could be solved with money. The average child support is it's actually, once they did the national average child support in America, is $400 or less, and actually $293 for a lot of southern states. So when you hear people out here, oh man, my child support, I'm like, $400, bro? $400 is breaking your ankles? Like,
I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm a little different about the child support argument. If I have a child, I care about my child. I got a son. I care about my son. I want him. I'm gonna take care of him. I don't think that makes me a wuss because I'm taking care of my child. I don't know. Maybe I'm old school. That's the way I was raised. I look at it a little different. I'm not gonna complain about taking care of my child. I know this ain't that type of video.
It's just funny to me because what I'm saying is 400 for people to pretend like they out here being big ballers. If $400 is breaking your ankles, about to send you to jail, that means you're not making no money. That's my whole argument. I'm like, when you come on the channel, or truck drivers come on the channel, all these people that are really making money, and guys are like, oh, I never do trucking, I'll never do that. What you're really saying is, I don't want to put in the work to study, or I don't want to put in the work to put the hours in. And what's really upsetting is I'm surrounded by, like, literally, I'll put it to you this way. I told everybody this story on my channel. Thank you for the $2 super chat, Southern Comfort. I told this when I first moved to Austin, and I went to my church, which is a very wealthy church in a north part of Austin. I came into town 2 weeks later. Somebody was like, oh, do you have a job? Where you work at? I'm like, oh, I'm doing this in the apartment industry. They're like, girl, you can come over here and be like a sales phone person, right? At this tech company. This job was paying $50K a year. And I was just doing phones. And they didn't even know me. They didn't know my qualifications. They just liked the way I spoke. They were like, oh yeah, you can come on over here. So a lot of it is networking, but you got to have the skill to get in the door anyway. That's my whole argument. People are sitting here, oh, I'm gonna go to community college, but they don't really tell you what they're going for. They're going to get a grant check. They're going to get that Pell Grant check and live nice for the next couple months and kind of go to class. And when you sit here and talk to them about, nah, why don't you go get a real legit skill? Why don't you go on Udemy? Why don't you study? Why don't you go take these certifications? And a lot of times I've talked to people and you know what they said, sub, they were like, oh man, that test is like $500. Do you think they're going to make a test that's going to get you $100,000 job really cheap? Like, of course not.
Yeah. You don't even look. Salesforce is designed now, and a lot of people don't know this. You could go on Trailhead on Salesforce for free, and literally do work on Trailhead, and you earn badges for free. And when you go to an employer, you link it to your LinkedIn. No pun intended. You link it to your LinkedIn, so when they see your name on your resume, you put your LinkedIn profile as a link on your resume. They click it, and they straight go from LinkedIn to your Trailhead profile, and they can see, oh, this person has 40,000 points on Trailhead. They're a mountaineer. They have X amount of badges. They know how to do this. They know how to do that. They can see all that. You're without excuse in this tech industry. Like, you got kids in high school that are like, there was this kid, my friend is a recruiter. He knew a kid in high school. This was maybe about 8, 6, 7 years, right when I was just getting started. There's this kid that graduated from high school that was a real good iPhone developer. Well, he had so many downloads on the Apple store in Apple that people were calling his phone. He was getting $100 an hour at 18 years old. And my thing is this, man. Like, that's what bothers me when I look at people. Like, if it's no money, I don't really care, because you're not helping. If you're making $500 an hour and I'm making $50 an hour and I'm out here trying to help people, and if I say, hey man, I can show you how to make 50, and you come and say, there ain't no money, I make 500. Where's your channel? Or shut up. Because if you're not going to get out there and help people, why do I care that you make $500 an hour when you don't help your people with it? If you're not going to go out here and put your life on the line, I ain't say life, but just put your energy into trying to invest in your people, then who cares? To me, what matters is what can be said at your funeral, not what you made while you were living. What are they going to say when they put you in that box? And they say, what did this person do with the resources and time that God gave him? Did he try to go help his people? Did he try to give back? Or did he choose to sit out here and have this mindset of, I'm here and I'm there? Because even if you're making $100 and some odd dollars an hour, you blessed. I had a brother say that in one of my videos when I was talking about it. He's like, oh, that ain't no money. I make $150 an hour. I drive trucks. I'm like, brother, I said, hey, brother, why don't you reach out to him? I gave him my email. Never heard from him. Never heard from him. Say, brother, let's do a video. Tell me, because I want to know. How do you get that money? Show me. Because every brother I know that got into that trucking, some of them making 50,000. So it ain't that easy. Like,
yeah.
No, I'm talking about guys that got on with companies. They're making like 60s. They're not making big money. A lot of guys I know that drive trucks. So the ones I know, there are a few that make that 200,000. And I know one guy made $1 million. But that guy's a hustler. Like, that guy ain't no. Them guys making that kind of money, they hustlers. The average Joe Blow, if you don't want to work, you gonna just go get on with some company, or you might get your own truck, but you're not going, it's harder. And you're gonna be on the road 2,000-3,000 miles a week, 3,000 miles a week. So it's not that easy. But I want to see, and there's people out there that got channels. I'm not taking any jabs, but there are people that's doing that. But I don't like that about our community, that we don't want to give back, man. And YouTube is kind of bringing a lot of people out that do want to give back. Because if it weren't for YouTube, I wouldn't have this platform. I wouldn't be teaching people. I wouldn't be teaching. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. I give people my phone number. I give people my email. We create a group. We all talk, chat, and that's it.
Dude, listen. First, I want to say thank you, Dana, Sabrina, for the $9.99, $10 super chat, basically. There's a ton of comments in here. I love y'all. I'm gonna read off y'all comments here. I'll give me a second. The key here is, I would love to see you teach 1,000 people, and make lots of bread. But again, what I usually tell people is, with with making more money comes responsibility, right? And what I'm really seeing is people who are 30 something years old checked out. And what you're going to really see with this next recession is people who've been checked out, like tech people and medical people are still going to be making money when the recession comes. Like even now, like in San Francisco, I really don't think you're going to live there if you don't make 100K plus a year. I don't think you're going to live in some of these major cities anymore if you don't make 100K. You're just not. You're not going to live there. You may live an hour away, but you're not going to live there because you're just not there. It's becoming 2-3 economies, right? And what I keep trying to tell people is, people are like, well, Ericka, is this a good industry to go into before recession? I'm like, upping your skills is good anytime, not just before a recession, but anytime. Like, you need to be growing as a person. And I know people hate hearing this, but like, hey, thanks, Gabe. Hey, Gabe gave a $20 super chat. Shout out, great content came here from O'Shea. Thank you so much, Gabe. But essentially, like I told people, I'm like, I've literally picked up Salesforce stuff. I picked up other trainings. Like if I can show people my Udemy, like I literally spend an hour to 2 hours, like upping my skills so that I have choices. You know what I mean? Like somebody leave, you know, I just want people to have choices. And I don't think everybody understands what I'm saying, but having choices is one of the best things you could ever do. There's several people who've been on YouTube who literally they're working for Google, they're working for YouTube. You like, man, what happened to that person? They making $200,000-$300,000 working for YouTube because they did such a great job on their channels that YouTube picked them up. And so I think with anything you do, you got to pull up these skills, and it really just something about it bothers me. But I'm really serious about that. Like, I want you to be able to teach more people. You know what I'm saying? I really do, because I think if you're teaching 100 people, this is how I look at it. If I teach 1,000 people credit repair skills or help their credit, and then they can teach their sister, their brother, their families, then they go out and do another. I mean, it's like each one teach one, but times 10x. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah. My students are what I like about it is my students. I can call them and say, hey, you know, like tonight. It's my birthday this weekend. I'm going to a massage at Paul at 7:00. Somebody paid for it. I might call one of my students like, hey, can you take class over tonight? They'll go in there and won't miss a beat. Like I've duplicated myself. Like I can stop now if I really, but of course, and I would let them take it over. If they want to take it over, I'll let them. Like, hey, you can, sometimes they want to teach. And what's funny, they want to teach. The guy that Mark that got a job sends me text always. He calls me, man, I just want to thank you, brother. I was unemployed, ain't had no money, man. You worked with my budget. You took it at $50 at a time, $100 at a time. You didn't trip about the money. You taught me. You know, you helped me out. I gave him references. I helped him with his resume. I don't just give you the skill set. I tell you the soft skills, what to say, how to act, what to do, what not to do. You know, what do you do when you go to work? Now you got the skills. You go to work. You have a scrum meeting in the morning. What's scrum meeting? Okay, well, what is QA? What's UAT? These are the things that will get you fired if you don't understand. So it's one thing to read and study on Udemy. And I'm not knocking you. I'm just saying in general.
Sure. No.
You can know all that. It's another thing to go in a work environment and to be able to speak truth to power and be able to put it together. And unless you have somebody there to hold your hand, they're gonna know as soon as you walk in there, you don't know what you're talking about. Like one of my students did an interview and he recorded the interview, right? So, because I tell my students to record the interview so I can help them. We kind of create like a little brain dump, right? So everybody kind of watches and listens, and I play the videos during class and I say, this is what you should say when they say this, right? Like I'm cheating. Like I'm real dirty with it. I'm gonna do what I got to do to get you a job, right? So one time he asked him, it was like, well, how long are your scrum? You know, and he said 2 hours, right? And scrum means not scrum, your sprints. I'm like, sprints aren't 2 hours, that's 2 weeks. You know, it may vary, but it can be anywhere from 6 weeks, 2 weeks, but it damn sure ain't 2 hours, you know. But he didn't know. And so I told him, but it's funny now because he got a job. He'll laugh about that now. But he got a job, but he went on his first interview and he sucked. But he came back on the second interview and blew it out the water. They liked him so much, they called him in and he got a job. Now this brother's making over $70,000. He didn't have, look, back in June, he didn't know what a select statement was. He got a job almost a month ago. So this brother's been working for almost a month now. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, for
That's
sure.
what I'm about. 2.5 months you interviewing, you in front of people. That's all I do. I teach people. That's what I like doing. And even if I never touch another IT job I would probably still teach this skill set because I like helping my people. And I like to see people go from unemployed, because Mark was unemployed in between jobs, to now Mark is making a nice amount of money, comfortable. His life has changed. Lima's another one. 3 months ago, these people didn't, I mean, not 3 months ago, but back in June, they didn't know any of this stuff. So they literally went from 0 to 60. By October, they were interviewing.
Dude, I'm telling you, listen, I'm watching channels right now. Engineered Truth is a big one where people come on there like, oh yeah, I've been doing IT for 10 years. I decided to just take a break and travel for a year. And everybody in the comment section is like, wow, how? Honey, if you're making 70, 80, 100K a year and you're a single male, you ain't out there buying cars, you just sticking it in your 401k, you just stacking money to the side, you're talking about a whole different life than other people. And even if you have kids, what I'm trying to tell people is I do a lot of consulting calls where the wife is making 150,000, the husband's making 80,000 because of tech. And like, don't sleep on this industry. Everybody's not meant to be a business owner. Like that's where I am, because I don't like to conform. And also every job I've been on, people be like, what you gonna do with your hair? Nothing. This is what it looks like, right? Like every time I took a step up in management or whatever, I still felt like this is not enough money for my time. And tech is one of those industries where I don't care who you are. 150K a year, 130K a year. And Austin is very much 120K a year. With a job like that, in 3 to 5 years, your life is different.
Oh yeah.
You're talking about real actual retirement. You're talking about real opportunity to invest. And that's why when people are making 30, 40,000 a year, they're all over YouTube looking for credit hacks and credit secrets and how to get a bunch of credit cards. And I'm like, how about save yourself that trouble and go get a more paying job?
That's the thing. Like whenever I apply for something and I pull my check stub out, I ain't trying to be cocky. I'm gonna probably get approved. Because I don't have my car. I'm smart. I ain't gonna say I'm smart. I got a convertible Jaguar. It looks nice. I paid $14,000 for this car. That's it. I didn't go and buy. I can afford a brand new one if I wanted. I could have went and got. Well, they discontinued the XK. That's the one I really like. That's what I have. But I didn't go get I could go get the R-Type. I don't want it. I don't need it. That's the thing. Like when you make a certain amount of money, I'll go buy a 7-year-old car. It's nothing. I'll buy an 8-year-old car, 7-year-old car, drive it, get it out of my system, and move on. And all I paid was $14,000 for the car. That's, and I'm going to get approved because when I try to buy something or if I want to do anything, my debt to income is great. The ratio is so low. It's like, man, this guy, his bills are like $2,000 a month. He makes that in a week. He got, we'll give it to him. Whatever I want. Any type of business venture, signature loan, anything. But I didn't know what that felt like years ago because I was always, doing things. I didn't have a check stub. I was doing things different. And so it was more difficult to get approved for a lot of stuff. When they see tax returns and they see this guy made this, he has this, his bills every month are this, his rent is this, like I live in historic downtown Decatur. It's being gentrified, unfortunately, but it's a nice area. But, like I say, it's something that I was able to get into easily because I just moved over there. I got in real easy because I don't have a lot of debt. So, but when you get into this area, if you come from being broke to making money, the key is not to go and get, okay, just because you make 120, 140, don't go and buy a $90,000 car. You don't need that. Get a car, it should be under $20,000. If you're gonna go get a place, don't go get a $2,500, $3,000 a month place. Just get you something for. That's in Atlanta. That's a lot. You can get a very nice place in Atlanta for under $2,000 a month. Very nice. And even 1,000, it's a little iffy, but anywhere from 1,400 to like 18, in that little sweet spot, you can pretty much live in most places in Atlanta. So,
my thing is, I want people to be more exposed. So even if someone watches this video and it's not for them or it's for their cousin or it's for somebody else, that's fine. Like, share this video with other people, because what ends up happening is, this is what I tell people. A lot of times somebody will watch my channel and be like, man, Ericka, that's really great information. I go, well, did you share it on YouTube? Did you share it on Facebook? Did you share it on Instagram or Twitter? Oh, nah, man, nah. I'm like, and now I get about 4,000 shares of videos per month or so. But at the end of the day, I'm still talking to people like, it's great that you're soaking up all this knowledge, but if you're not sharing it, what does that do, right? Because here's my thought process. If I'm on YouTube, if I'm on Facebook, every day I see people sharing trauma, police shootings, terrible stuff, accidents, murders, all kind of crazy crap. But then when you're like, are you sharing this information you're getting? Nah, I don't want people to know my business, Ericka. You got to change, because what people are seeing is, here's my thing. Even if you don't share my stuff, other people's stuff, it opens up the door to somebody who know you, go, oh, you doing this now? Oh, come on over. Like, let me talk to you. And like, when I talk about LinkedIn all the time, I think I make people mad on this channel, but when people tell me they want a 6-figure job and they're not even on LinkedIn, I'm like, that's where all the high level job recruiters are recruiting people from. Like,
oh yeah,
I still get emails all the time for apartment management jobs, and I'm like, I've been out of the industry for years. What do y'all want? Leave me alone. And so like,
I'm gonna have to change my number when I get out of IT, because I literally, when I called you earlier, I got 2 calls just in that little period of time. I got 2 calls this morning. I get calls all the time, from people trying to give me a job in IT, and so it really behooves you to listen to Ericka. If you're a subscriber, listen to her. I love her channel. She's an information person. She's a facts person. It's not about emotions. That's what I like. That's what men like. We shouldn't like emotions. We should be fact-based, logical. So, and that's what matters. And so to me, what matters is facts. And the facts are, if you're gonna work, get paid for it. That's all I'm gonna say about it. I mean, if you're gonna punch a clock, don't go punch a clock and try to make $20 an hour if you can make $120 an hour.
Oh, I've got family members right now who graduated from college, and he's like, oh, I want to go overseas and work in like Dubai and stuff and make, $100K a year. And he's in Raleigh, and everybody's like, bro, you can go get in tech, but he's stuck in like that $20 an hour thing where he came out of college, he works at a bank, and everybody's like, bro, that's not where you need to be. You need to be in tech. So people are hard headed, but thank you, Mentor Shelly, for the $5 super chat. He said you're dropping major jewels right now. There are so many comments, sub there. A lot of people are really lighting up this chat today. Ooh, y'all lighting up this chat. I'm gonna go over some of it. How we doing on time over there? You still good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm not working today. I'm good.
Okay. So I'm gonna go over a little bit of this commentary in here because hey, it's a show. We want to talk with y'all. And there's 170 of y'all in here. It's been going between 170 and 200 people. Hit that like button. So we got a lot of Raleigh in here. We got Fort Worth, Indiana, all these different people. Huntsville, Alabama. They're making a whole show about that down there.
I got friends up there. I get calls from people wanting me to come to Huntsville to work. Huntsville is a lot of government jobs up there, and you can really they paying in Huntsville. Like, you could go to Huntsville. I get called to rates of like 75 and up. Like, I've gotten calls for that kind of money up there.
My only problem is I was in Birmingham in Hoover doing Red Cross work, and the drive between Huntsville and they like, don't stop in between. Don't stop at them little towns in between. They dangerous. I'm like, y'all really got to get Alabama under control. This don't make no sense.
I'm gonna say this about the South. I don't really think that way. I don't. I played ball in between. Well, I didn't play ball. I actually went to Wallace State Community College, which is in Hanceville, which is about 30 miles north of Birmingham. And yeah, you had the Klan marched up at Coleman. I was there one time. They marched. They looked at me crazy. I looked at them. They kept it moving. I'm sorry. I don't really care.
I was going to finish the story by saying, when my mom had a flat tire in between there, one of the tow truck guys were like, hey, you got a BMW, no flat tires. Keep going, girl. You good. But what I'm saying is Huntsville has a ton of Black people making a lot of money. And so what you have is some people are just jealous. It's not even a race thing as much as it. I was trying to finish the story that some of
my bad. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No worries. I was like, some of it's just financial jealousy because a lot of people, I think people think I'm joking, but a lot of people in America are poor. And I know everybody's like, Ericka, you're being classic. You're being talking down to people. And I'm like, I'm not. I'm just saying it. I cannot convince people to win. They have to convince themselves they can win. But don't be out here saying, I don't understand how people get these jobs when we're telling you how they get them. We're telling you you're going to have to take an hour or two commitment in the afternoon. A lot of people go, well, I just want to veg out. I had a long day. I can't think as much. I got kids. I mean, they come up with excuses all day and night. And I just tell you like this. Everybody's like, well, you don't have kids. You understand. I'm like, I have a lot of friends who make their kids go to bed at 8 o'clock so they can just have peace and quiet in their home for 2 hours with their spouse before they go to bed. And I don't know, we're somehow in this economy where people like, oh, my kids go to bed at 10. That don't even make sense for them or for you, especially with school. So
look, I'm teaching this class and I got a 2-year-old.
There you go.
I mean,
you gotta make
it
time.
is what it is.
So I remember you said, okay, so Michael Ward said Alpharetta, Georgia.
Alpharetta.
Okay, Alpharetta, GA has a lot of engineers. Okay, let me see. Where's some other stuff in here? Thank you, Cam, for posting the links. Again, everybody, this is Sub-Zero, his 3639, and his channel links. Cam can post them in the comment section. Thank you, Cam.
Thank you.
Cam said, you can't expect to be a teacher or a social worker making $100K a year. Skills gap pay. No offense. Change your lane. You could be a homeschool teacher for $70K, which is very true.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you what I did. One time, in between projects, I had a certain business I was doing, and I invested a sizable amount, actually in trucking, and I had cleared out my savings, and I lost my project. It was a rough time, so I went and got a job waiting on tables part time in between while I was interviewing during the day. I got somewhere where I can work at night, and I was there for about 6 weeks, right? So as I'm there interview, I said, well, I just need a little gas or whatnot. I was working with students that were like, this one guy was what was he? He was a criminal justice major. So this guy majored in criminal justice, and he was waiting on tables. This other girl was a history major. And I tried to tell them, but of course they see me sitting there, they didn't believe me. I guess he's like, this guy, what does he know? If he knew, he wouldn't be here with us, right? That's what they told me. I said, no, I'm just here. I just got here for, I'm going to be here real quick. I'm going to be gone. But I'm telling you, you're wasting your time working here. You probably chose the wrong major. You need to switch your major. And they would just glaze over and they wouldn't listen. And then when I got the project. I got on the project. I even showed one of the guys the emails when they made me the offer. I said, see here. I said, I'm not lying to you. I'm not Milli Vanilli, dude. I'm for real. I'm not playing. And one guy listened, but the other ones wouldn't listen. I would go in there and try to order food and tip them good and just show them some love. But, a lot of times, man, people just have to live life. You have to let people have their own experiences. But for those who want, when you tell somebody something, like my barber, shout out to him named Jeffrey. I ain't gonna say his last name. I was getting a haircut. I mentioned Salesforce to him, took him on the website. This dude went and studied on his own and passed the certification, and now he's interviewing. He did it on his own. I didn't teach him nothing. He's self-taught. So if you got it, I ain't got to put it in you. You already got that design.
You got to want to win. But also it's the environment too. Like, have you noticed when you're at work, the type of people you're around, the type of activities they're doing, it's a whole nother level. It ain't just Friday partying. It's like, oh, we're going to travel over here, or we're going to go do this, or we're going to do a golf classic, or go to, what I mean? It's just a different level. You
can look in the parking lot at the cars and tell what people be running. Because everybody's not, these people are, I've been in offices, everybody's over 6 figures. Mm-hmm. They not, my car is the most flashy car in the driveway and out there. My car is cheap though, but I'm talking about people are being like, Honda pilots, Camry. You would think, black people, when we make money, you can tell.
Oh man, I have 2 friends who make $150K a year. Guess what they're driving? A old used, what's the name of that? Pontiac. One of my friends has an old Pontiac because he literally puts what do you call those, paddleboard surfing on it, his wife is like, I'm not letting you buy a new car and tear that up with your paddle boards.
Oh yeah.
And honestly, it's like they go on like 20 trips a year. Like every time I turn around, we're skiing again this weekend in Utah. And so it's like they don't put the money in the cars. And I keep telling people, when I delivered pizzas between a millionaire neighborhood and this raggedy area in Austin, Texas, when I first got there, I was like, oh, I'm so nervous, I need to make more money. What I end up happening is when I was in Austin, when I first got there, this Papa John's had to split these two areas because it wouldn't be fair if one Papa John got all the rich people and the other one got all the poor people. So they split it. So I would drive into raggedy, rundown apartment complexes full of BMWs and Mercedes-Benz and you name it, Infinities. And then I would drive over to $1 million home and 3 old 2002 Hondas would be in the driveway. Honda Accords, old Camrys. And it's a mindset shift. It's a mindset shift.
If you just look at it this way. If you don't have a car note, and you're let's say you're renting, let's just say rent, ain't even say you're buying. Let's say you're renting. If you're renting for $1,200 a month or $1,500 a month, and you make, let's just say $80,000. After taxes, you bring it home about roughly, let's say 12 after taxes, somewhere in there. That's $2,400 every 2 weeks. You can pay your rent and you can pay everything comfortably, and you're not struggling one bit. And $1,200 to $1,400 a month is expensive for a single person for an apartment. But let's just say, and you still got plenty of money left over. But if a person is making $40,000 and you're paying $1,000 for rent or $800 for rent, but then you got a car note and insurance is another $600, you paying, so you roughly, and you're only making 40 to 50, you know, you're basically 55-60% of your money is soaked into just driving and living. Whereas that person that makes $80,000, they're at a ratio of like maybe 20%, 25, somewhere in there, and they're comfortable. You know, and that's the thing. Like, we have to kind of look at the, you know, that really is, it's not even about what you make. We always say it's what you keep. So if you can get into IT and you're smart and you budget your money, and you know, there's one guy, a good friend of mine, guy I talk to all the time about it. He has a channel called Black Men Taking Our Communities Back. And that brother had a video he called, you know, Discipline is a Skill. And in that video, he literally went to the bank and pulled out roughly about $40,000, $50,000, had it cash. He's like, brother, this is the money that I saved up. You know, I'm about to go buy some property in real estate, but this is just from me living on 50% of my money. He's a nurse. He does nursing. I don't know what type, but he makes well in the 6 figures. But the brother lives on 50% of his money, and he still live a comfortable lifestyle. That's what you can do. You can literally save $40,000 in a year, and I mean save, not earn, save, and still live in a nice place and drive a decent car. But you can't go drive a $50,000-$60,000 car. You just can't do it. And if I do drive one, it's been wrecked and I bought it from Copart and put it back together. That's how I'm buying a car.
Oh, listen, there are plenty of horror stories in Austin, Texas, where I've met people who are 52. They got put out of IT for whatever reason, couldn't get another job because they didn't want to move, right? There, you know, sometimes you have to move if you mess up all your job opportunities in one area. And there's a guy I know right now, he literally, wife divorced him, all this stuff to the kids or whatever, but he has this big old house that's paid off. And he just like, well, what I'm gonna go out there and get another job, and people ain't gonna talk to me any kind of way. Because, you know, there is some kind of attitude in tech. Some of the guys have, you know, a little bit of attitude, but that's just, I see that with a lot of high skilled people. They just have that attitude. But literally everybody was like, man, why don't you do this, do that? And he's like, y'all, my house is paid off. My 3 cars is paid off. My wife don't want no alimony. I literally took some money out of my retirement and got her own house across town. She don't bother me because she ain't got to pay no mortgage. She just got to pay her light bill. So it's just a different, and he's 52. It's just a different mindset. And when you make more money, you can save more money and you can pay some stuff off. That's the problem. People don't think like that. But
yeah, I was thinking about paying up the rent for the year, actually, the place I'm at. I'm just going to pay these folks for the year and just not have to worry about it. And then that way I can focus on, you know, but I got some stuff I'm working on right now in business. But, you know, they approved me. I got in. Everything was good. I got in. And, you know, it's a nice area. But you know, I do think a lot of times when people get comfortable, a lot of people they said this on O'Shea's Sunday Rumble yesterday, and I agree with one of the brothers. He was talking about how when people get the talented 10th, when they do get into a certain position, they don't want to live in the same neighborhoods. They don't want to be around their certain people. And I think that's bad. But at least with the internet, you can kind of, even if you do live in the suburbs or out in the country somewhere in the rural area, you can still give back.
Oh, quick question. I think Todd Capital asked, why were you renting in Atlanta? But he just moved, Todd. Isn't that right? You just moved from
I just moved from Sandy Springs.
And he
I was gonna buy. I don't want to buy right now, but I am gonna buy a house. But I'm gonna build a house. See, I'm a builder. I'm a licensed builder. I used to build when I flipped houses. I had a license. I used to build. Right. I don't want to go buy like right now. I want a new property. The type of house I want would probably run about $500,000. Right. I wouldn't go pay somebody $500,000 for a house that I can go and build myself. I need time to do it because when you build a house, you have to know, how to get your subs and line everything. You got to get your plans. But I could probably build that house about $300,000.
Right.
So
right.
That's $250,000 in equity I could just put in my pocket. Why would I go pay somebody that up front and they ain't got no equity? You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm renting right now because it's for convenience. But I could easily go get a mortgage. That's nothing. But I'm not right now, time wise, and what it would take for me to have to learn the market because I'm really from Alabama. So I have to learn the people up here, and I'm trying to build a house in. I'm actually building a property right now in. The name of the area is. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, the name of the area is Stone Mountain. It's a historic Stone Mountain. I got a property under contract, and I'm running into all red tape with it's near historic Stone Mountain, and these white people in the neighborhood, they don't. I guess they see I'm black, so they fight me on the trees. Because in Atlanta, if you cut trees down, it's a big deal if they're a certain diameter. So I got a guy I just met with this morning actually that's gonna go and cut. So I'm doing it the right way. I want to make sure when I build my property, I'm gonna build it the way I want to build it with a basement, man cave, everything. I want to do it the right way. But I also want to make sure when I do it that I don't just go give some contractor, $500,000 for a property. If I spend $500,000, damn it better be worth about $8. I'm just real. Like,
I know that area. I mean, I know exactly the areas he's talking about. The reason I know Sandy Springs and Stone Mountain and Douglasville is because I had a cousin down there. She built, y'all. I'm not even joking, y'all. I know what he's saying because my cousin built a house that was $300,000 for $70,000. And so literally her house had it had the basement. It was finished. It had the second floor with the deck. And then the bottom had like a, what do you call it? Patio? Like when you have the wood. Atlanta's crazy. And if anybody, let me just be it this way. Let me keep it real. If you make money and you want to move to Atlanta and you want to build a $500,000 house, he's not lying. You can build it for probably $300,000, like close to that. Like
that's really like if you want to put some stuff. I mean, you could really probably do it for $250. When you got what contractors don't tell you, they can really do it for about $50 a foot. And if you want to go luxury, the kitchen and the bathroom is where the money is. It's really not, so that's why I'm renting right now. It's not that I'm renting because I can't afford it. If I want to go get a mortgage, I could. That's the thing. But my thing is, why do that? When I do get a mortgage, I'm gonna do it a certain way.
I will say
that's why my costs are low.
For that, I will say I do. I respect a lot of people who build a house because they do know the math, right? They know construction. You know what I mean? They know the math, and my cousin had this house in Douglasville, and that's all the way south. You know what I mean? That's like, you know where Douglasville is?
Oh yeah. That's all. I'm in Decatur. I'm in downtown Decatur. But on the other side, if you get on 20 and just shoot all the way across past 85, 75, as soon as you get outside of 285 over going towards Six Flags, it's over there.
Yeah. So there's a ton of comments. I'm gonna read some more. I ain't gonna suck up all your time today, but I just
No, I enjoyed it.
So yeah, you guys, at his channel, he's selling Salesforce training for about what, 400, and you do payment plans?
No. I don't do Salesforce. There was a class. What even got me into this was someone taught me Salesforce, and it was the becomingproject.org, and she had a situation where her husband was in a head-on collision, and So she kind of got taken out of the picture. And I kept getting a lot of people saying, teach me Salesforce. I was like, I don't feel comfortable enough, even though I'm certified, to teach that, but I will teach you what I do. So that's how I got into this. So, but I teach business intelligence in database development. That's what I teach.
Okay, say it again. Systems.
Business development. Business intelligence and database development. Just say BI/database developer. That's it. Because you can be a BI developer or you can be a database developer. And you can do it's about 5 skill sets that you can actually go for, jobs you can go apply for once you take my class. You could be a reports developer, you could be an ETL developer, you could be a database developer, and you could be a BI developer. That's 4. So those are the 4 jobs that you can go for, or you could just be a SQL developer, which kind of will encompass all of them. So that's
so everybody checking the links. He's Cam's put his courses up, put his website up. Yeah, I mean, like a lot of comments are cracking me up. Y'all got some good comments in here. She said kids are not an excuse. Don't let them be your motivation. Thank you, Dana. Thank you, Truth Seeker, for the $5 super chat. There's some more super chat. Thank you, Star. They put, my head is spinning from all this info, but I'm soaking it in. Thanks, Ericka Sub-Zero. So just like this video and the credit video I did the other day, y'all may need to watch this twice. You may need to watch it 3 times. Like, you're not going to catch everything between the chat and us talking. You're not going to catch everything the first time. So definitely listen to it the second time. Somebody said, there's a lot of engineers in the comment section, so thank y'all for commenting. 180 Engineering Cannabis says, $100K a year job can give you time and resources to focus on your own projects.
But you know what? You know why it's a lot of engineers in the comment section? Because they're probably sitting at a cubicle somewhere at a desk. Chilling in the air conditioning. They're not really working hard. Which I'm not knocking that, because that's me. That's why I'm always on the internet, because I'm sitting at my desk chilling during the day, working, and then every once in a while I look at my phone and I go on YouTube and listen to people, and that's it. Most of the people you see on YouTube a lot of times in these comment sections do what I do, or a lot of them do. And the people that watch these videos at night are the people that work regular blue-collar jobs. Those are probably the people that need to sign up for stuff like this.
That's what I'm saying. The difference in my comment section in the daytime at lunch versus my comment section at night, I be needing all the moderators blocking stuff and everything. Again, let me see, there's some more in here that I thought was really good. You kicking straight game. Can I get a super chat shout out for that? Oh my God, where would I miss it? Let me scroll back up. 46% of working Americans are poor. Fact.
Yeah.
There's houses are so cheap in Huntsville.
Oh yeah.
Pensacola, Florida. Who else?
A house is an easy way to really, like, if you are Black and you want to, like, really, you don't want to start a business, 2 things you should do: life insurance and get a mortgage, or build a house from the ground up, and do that. That's not hard. They'll give you money to build as a homeowner. You can pull your permits, everything. You just have to live in that house for 2 years, which, you can. But if you just do that, that's not, any risk aren't involved. You can probably leave $1 million to your kids. Easy. And that's not even that's not trying hard. That's not even trying hard.
I don't know if you watch this channel regularly, but I tell people all the time, it's not that African Americans don't have inheritance. They just don't like the form of inheritance they get, which is usually a house that, uncle, aunt, grandma, somebody lived in, but didn't take the best care of. So that means what? I'm gonna have to come out of pocket repairing grandma's house or somebody's house. And instead, a lot of people just sell. So a lot of these wholesalers you see, a lot of these people in, wholesaling all stuff, even right now, I've been using I'm gonna do a whole video on it, how I basically just took 150 photos in this deal app. I'm gonna do a whole video about it. But a lot of those houses I already know, it's older person died or isn't there anymore, and that's why it's vacant. Nobody in the family wants to invest the money to take care of it, so they're willing to sell because, well, I ain't putting money in that house. And so there's a lot of inheritance out here. It's just not in the form we want, right? It's not in the
Oh yeah. That's why historic downtown Decatur, It's like, I like the area. It's real nice. I like the vibe, the energy. But I hate to say it, it's a lot of rich white people moving over there, buying houses from those people you just talked about. And now those houses now going for $200,000. I'm talking about with the roof caving in.
Oh, listen, people already said in the comment section, original one said, downtown Decatur ain't cheap. And that's where Sub-Zero lives, downtown Decatur.
Yeah, it's not cheap, but that's what I'm saying. I got a good deal on a house, but I'm telling you, it's nice. That's why I like it there. The education system's nice. I got a 2-year-old. It's not, it's nice. I mean, I like it. But I'm still near my people though, because all I gotta do is go down Candler, and I'm right there in the middle of the hood too. So, but it's kind of weird. It's in that transition stage because you go up to Gresham and those areas up there, Flat Shoals. You go on the other side of the highway now. It's more white people are starting to move over there, and it's coming down towards us. But I'm over on the white side, but I can turn and go a few blocks and I'm on the black side like that.
Okay, so Cosmic Wisdom said, IT professionals get burned out easily. Most major companies allow for up to 1 year sabbatical to allow us to recharge. I can believe that. I have 2 friends who were taking 6-month breaks. And I'm like, well, did you get fired? No, I'm going back in 6 months. And I'm like, I ain't never heard of that. But they work for Samsung, and Samsung is brutal because it's a Korean-owned company, and a lot of their management is Korean, straight from South Korea. And they don't, their work mindset versus American mindset, like they're like, you keep working, like you work 60 hours a week. Come on, let's go. Like, their mindset's completely different.
I'm gonna tell you, a pressure cooker is Hyundai and Kia. Hyundai called me when I first was trying to get in. I wanted the Hyundai job, and I'm glad I didn't get it because that job comes open at least every 2 years. And they called me, and it's like, I'm like, I don't want it. And then they don't pay that much. For Montgomery, it's a lot of money, but they paying like 65, 70. I'm like, no, I'm not coming to it. I'm not coming. No, even though in Montgomery, that would actually probably be a comfortable, nice lifestyle. I wouldn't go there. I'd rather stay in Atlanta and I can make double that in Atlanta. So,
dude,
that's why I don't do it.
I was in Hoover, Alabama, and there were a lot of black guys who were making $70K a year from manufacturing in the car dealership industry. And I was like, that's crazy. But then I met IT black people in Hoover, Alabama, who were making $100K. So it was like, and the houses were only like 150,000 down there. And I was like, this is crazy. But that's how all those women from Atlanta was getting to Birmingham that I met. A lot of guys were like, they drove up to Atlanta, met a girlfriend, and brought her back down. So there's some more in here. You guys have been doing really great. Thank you so much for all the comments. Cam said, if you're administrative assistant, become a Salesforce administrator, $70K. If you're a teacher or call center person, become a sales representative, account executive, or customer success manager. People keep asking who my guest speaker is. His name is Sub-Zero 3639. We've been putting his links all in the channel. We can just call him Sub. Again, this is a man who still currently works in IT, so we want to be careful of his identity. Also, he has a young family. Also, he's teaching courses. Everybody can't do, I try to tell people, everybody can't be like out like I am. Like they're gonna see you when you get in the course with you, but like everybody can't like have their face out.
Let me tell. I'm gonna tell a story. I'm gonna tell what happened to me. I have students that I taught class in April. I taught a class in April, and I taught a class in June, and I started another class in October. Right. Mm-hmm. Now, the class I taught in April, I didn't really get, 1 or 2 of the students kind of stuck with it, but I didn't get a lot of students that actually transitioned into the industry. It was my first time doing it, right? I was trying to stick to the schedule. I wasn't slowing down, and so I kind of rushed through it. The second class, I told everybody, once you take my class, you welcome back anytime. I don't charge. Once you pay that $400, you in for life. If I'm teaching, damn it, you in there, right? So the other time I taught class in June, from June 18th, actually, it was almost, so it was really, and that was like a late class. But anyway, I taught June, July, August, late September, I was finishing up, and actually early September. Took a week or 2 off and started in October with this current class. And this current class we're probably midway through with SSIS because I slow it down. If you don't know, I slow down. I don't speed. I don't just try to, if you don't got it, you need to study. No, I try to help you as much as I can because I already know it. but I'm trying to teach people. So I'm like, let me give them time to get it. So I had a student who came in April and he didn't get it. And so he came back in June, took the class. I taught him all the way to October. And then about a month ago in the chat, he just started saying F Sub-Zero and this, and he's a scam. And this, what? And I'm talking about, I'm giving you, I probably put in by this time, probably maybe, I wouldn't say 600. I probably put in maybe, I don't know, maybe 500-600 hours of my time. You know, probably, I don't know. I can't do the math. I don't know. You're looking at about an hour and a half to 2 hours a night, 4 days a week, and then 2 hours on Saturday mornings. So that's 10 hours a week, and I've been doing that a long time. So I was upset, needless to say. But the students got on him. The student was like, bro, what you talking about? And the minute he said that, that's when Mark hit me up and was like, bro, I just got this job. They gave it to me. You know, because at the time, nobody had really gotten the job. And, you know, I felt like, dang, I'm teaching them. They're going to get what I've been telling them. So now they can see that what I'm saying is truth because I literally have somebody there who can vouch for it and say, hey, this ain't fake. I came and took it, and here I am. And now I'm making money. And I got two or three others I know they're right there. But it's Christmas, and every time it becomes Christmas, it slows down because contracts start really around January a lot of times. And that's usually what you want to get when you first start. But I had one student who's been at me and said some things, but and, you know, I offered to give him his money back, but you know, he had to sign some things, he didn't do it, and it is what it is. But you know, I'm just saying that to say that that's one of the reasons I don't share my face and I don't put my real name out. And the students know my name, but you know, and some people have said my name here and there. It is what it is, not the full name, but the first name. I don't trip about it, but I just know that if somebody wanted to try to screw, not that I'm doing something wrong, but I mean, I ain't trying to be funny, but I'm vouching for you once you take my class because I know you know your stuff.
Oh, yeah. I mean, listen, here's the thing at the end of the day. There are people
lie and say, hey, this guy's lying. He never worked. Because I'm giving you're going to look like you got 2-3 years experience. I'm not going to tell him, you'd be a fool to tell him, hey, man, I just learned from some guy on YouTube for 2 months. Let me work on your $1 billion system. Hell no. That's not how you get a job. Black people don't have any references. We don't have anybody in IT like Indians and Asians. This is how I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you because I'm going to vouch for you. So he threatened to like end that. So that was the time where I was really upset. But like I say, that's why I don't share too much of my information because it would stop me from, I won't be able to help you if you start trying to call these companies and say, hey, this guy's vouching for people and helping people because I'm trying to help you get in the back door. Some people don't like it. Some people call it some nigger rigging. I had a guy say that I'm nigger rigging in one of my videos, say that's some nigger shit. Why you? I'm like, I'm sorry, but I work with Indians who do the same thing. They got companies in India you can go to, and they will literally call these companies in America and say you work for them.
Oh yeah, listen. You don't have to explain yourself too deeply in this video. People can go over your channel and check out more information. But like at the end of the day, the reason I bring that up is a lot of times I'm in Austin and people will vouch for 25, 50 people and they bring their whole friends and their whole group of family over there. And what I'm trying to tell people is like a lot of it, when I say you're not even on LinkedIn, you don't have no connections, you don't have no certification posted, people don't realize it's not just knowing the information, it's gradually knowing more people who, if something happens to you at your job, somebody else can vouch for you or get you in another company because your work speaks for itself. But I'm gonna shoot out a few of these super chats real quick. Hanko said, thank you for the $10 super chat. We legit need to be paying for this information. Hey, you can go over to Sub-Zero's channel. It's been posted in the links. Also, we have on here talking about script. I don't know what that is. Let me go back up. Hold on, y'all. Give me a second. I'm trying to catch up. Yeah, Todd Capital said we got to stop perpetuating the ideal that they are rich. If they were rich, they wouldn't need to gentrify the hood. Most of them are average and just working and being productive, looking for affordable housing. That's the fact. That's my whole thing. When people talk about gentrification, and I go in some of these neighborhoods where the house I was at last year, Sub-Zero, that house, she got it for $280 in a year and a half, almost 2 years. It was worth $400,000. And then all the old neighbors, you talk to the retired black and retired white guys who old engineers, all this stuff. And you ask them, why aren't you selling your home, getting all this equity out? And they're like, where would I go? I sell it for 280 or 300,000 or 400,000. Okay, but what other house am I going to get this big, this size, this much yard in Austin? And I'm like, you're so right. Nowhere. Because
I can get downtown from where I am on Ponce de Leon in about 20 minutes. I mean, I'm talking about downtown Atlanta. You could go, I mean, that, you know, that's why people are moving to these historic areas near downtown, Kirkwood, Edgewood, right up on downtown Atlanta, you know, because they're like, you know, we could get to work in downtown in like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 20, you know. Whereas if you live way out in Beaufort, I mean, come on, man, it's an hour and a half each way.
Hey, we got one of your students is here, ex Fat Boy Lifestyle. He said already enrolled, just waiting for class to start in February.
Oh yeah. What happened when I did the O'Shea interview? I've had a lot, and I've actually spoken to people. I ain't trying to be. I'm a real nigga, man. I give you my phone number. You can talk to me straight out. You know what I'm saying? I ain't with all that shit. You can call me. We can talk offline. I tell you what's up. You know what I'm saying? I talk to a couple of people every day. I talk to students from all over the country, people that want to sign up. I'm for it. You know what I'm saying? I got like 35, 40 people that's really put up some money that say they're gonna put up some money. Not all of them, but you know, they say they're gonna put up some money. I ain't tripping about it. I mean, because like I said, I wasn't doing it for the money. If it turns into money, fine. But I wasn't doing it. And that's what really burned me up with the other student, was that he was like, well, it's $400. I'm like, dude, if you do the math of the amount of students that I had, I make more than that in like a week. You know what I'm saying? Maybe 2 weeks. Like you can't think I really thought I got rich off this money. I'm doing this to help people. If I get 50 to 100 students to really sign up and go through with it and do the class, I'll be amazed. Most of the time, people quit, and you know why they quit? It's not because I'm not there to teach them. They get frustrated and they tell themselves they can't do it and it ain't for them. I see a lot of those every class. My first class, I started off with like 14 people. It dwindled down to about 5. Second class dwindled down to about 8 or 9. And this class, I'm down to like maybe 8 or 9, the one I'm teaching right now. I can't, I've you know, so that's why I don't really start off. I don't worry about trying to get 1,000 students because everybody ain't got a lot of people don't have a stomach for it. And it's not hard. It's just that.
It's not that they don't have the stomach for it, Sub. I really think people think they can switch jobs like this. They don't realize they're going to have to study and apply themselves and get a new skill. Like every time I talk to somebody who gets fired from a factory job in Dallas, I'd be like, okay, do you want to find another one or you want to do something different? Yeah, I want to do something different, but I don't want to be too difficult. You know, I got kids, I got my time. Boo-boo. Like you have to invest the time to get the money. Like you're going to have to study every night. You're going to have to apply yourself. You spend an hour listening to talk radio. You spend an hour listening to sports channel. I know men who will watch a ESPN. It'll loop and they'll watch the loop again. I'm like, listen, if you do that much, you can spend an hour studying so that you can move yourself to the next level.
I did a video on my channel about black people's love affair with sports. And I played basketball, man. And I'm just telling you, I've seen black men invest their lives into football, basketball. I mean, you know, we got people play for Alabama and Auburn that are from my hometown. So I've seen people give the most they could to sacrifice to go try to walk on at the Falcons. They give it, I mean, they bust their ass. You hear me? They give it all they have. I'm like, if you gave this much effort, because you're probably, if you're that good, you're probably in the top 10% in football players or basketball players to even try. And I played overseas, so I'm telling you what I know. The amount of effort and energy that it took me to be a top 10% or at least a decent top half basketball player, if you are the top 10% in business, think of what that means. Think of how much money the top 10% in business, if you give the same amount of effort and energy that you gave as a kid, 4 hours a day at the gym, running, lifting weights, doing foot drills, doing the squat rack, watching, going to camp. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I would come to tears if the game, it meant that much to me. I wanted it so bad. That's how much I was. And I want to take that same attitude for business. And I think we as black people, we invest so much in the sports, it burns me up. Like I hate it. Because the top 10 black people, top 10% of black people, they'll run circles around these black businesses. I mean, these black athletes. They'll run circles around, but we don't know who they are. But we like the guy Vinny Johnson that used to play for the Pistons. He's making way more money than he ever made in the NBA. Couple other guys. This other guy owns a bunch of franchises. I think he played for the Chicago Bulls. He had a speech problem. That guy. You got a bunch of people killing in business. We don't even know who they are, but we love LeBron James and Kobe Bryant.
Well, Kobe Bryant done switched too. He's investing in tech. He literally immersed himself in tech. And people be asking Kobe Bryant, do you miss basketball? He'd be like, no, I'm over here making $1 billion, about to make $1 billion like Nas. Like same thing with Nas. Do you miss rapping? No, I'm over here immersed in this new thing. And so I'm not just talking about black people, but I'm just saying to get the point across, people will invest hours, bro. And I think the biggest part of what's happening, and honestly, and people can get mad at me, they can call me all kind of ugly names. The biggest problem in the African-American community is between most young men that you meet from 18 to 27 years old. Their focus is in the wrong space.
Oh, yeah.
It's sports and it's hanging out and this stuff. If you could take those same young African-American men, especially in college, especially right after they come out of college and they don't get the job they want, and put it towards tech. I mean, I'm telling you right now, my friend is a HR person in Austin. I don't want to give their business out, but he works in, and he's a black guy in tech. He dressed nice, have great. He says he'll meet so many guys that come in for a job interview, their first job interview in tech, and they're 30 years old, 32 years old, 28 years old, all the black guys. He's like, he meet white dudes, 21, 22, 23.
Oh, yeah.
Time makes a difference. If you're a 32-year-old black dude starting, and yes, in 3 years, you can make 100 grand, 120,000, 130,000, but you now at 35, finally getting your money. But what's also probably going to be happening, you're going to be getting married, you're going to get a family. So you're not even getting the full effect of the money, right? This young white dude an Asian dude who came in at 22, he can do all these things. He can have all these Instagram posts of traveling and doing all this stuff when he's young because he put in the time and the money. And so
I'm gonna say this. My niece works for Microsoft. She had an internship at Google. Brilliant, right? I mean, you don't get on at Google unless you're really smart, right? She did an internship at Google, 3 years in college. She works for Microsoft. She just crossed the six-figure plateau. She's been there. She graduated college from Alabama State University, or HBCU. And she has been to Dubai, Spain. She got more stamps on her passport than I do. I mean, she's been everywhere. Portugal, working for the company. The company will fly her there. She was in Dubai for 2.5 weeks doing some sort of audit thing for Microsoft. And I mean, she's making hella money. She didn't even have to pay for it. They put her up in this real nice hotel, gave her a nice car, everything. And she was in Dubai. Like, and she was getting paid to do it. She didn't spend one dime. Then she went to Spain. She was in Barcelona. She's over there for a while. That's what I'm saying. I mean, she's always in LA. She's actually lives in Seattle, but she's always in LA doing some stuff. Like, that's what I'm saying. And it's all on the company's dime. That's just part of it, man. Like, you know, my battery's about to die. I know, you know, so.
No. I'll let you go. I'm going to let you go in a second. I was just going to finish out with one other comment. Cam was saying there's a lot of sports companies in tech. And there is. And like Vayner Media, he's doing a whole thing, Vayner Sports. I'm not knocking sports 100%, but what I'm saying is if you're a young man and your body is not built for, you're not the top 10%. Nobody wants to think that. There are so many jobs around tech. Be that guy. There's so many jobs around, you know, being at the stadium or being around a sports team. There's so many people that all they're doing is studying data, right? So, I mean, at the end of the day, I hope this video worked for everybody. His phone's about to die. We don't want to suck up all his time.
Let me say one thing with that, because that was a good point. I wasn't 5'7". I'm 6'2". I had a 42-inch vertical. I mean, I was a hell of an athlete, hell of a ball player. That's a bad combination. The guy that really thinks he has a chance is the one that's gonna bust his ass. The guy that's 5'8", he's just gonna join the military. But the guy that's a 6'4", the guy that may have a little shot, he got a few colleges looking at him, he got a scholarship. Those are the guys that will sacrifice. They will bust they behind to play sports, and I've seen it. And that, I think, the amount of, and I love playing sports. I love it. I think it really is a way to test yourself to see what you're made of on the inside. I think it's a great rite of passage for young men to get out there and really challenge themselves. But the thing is, we need to put sports in its proper perspective. And people used to tell me that, but I had a guy, I think Dr. Dave Anderson. He had a show called Blackonomics. My homeboy, he had a guy on there, and the guy was talking. He said, man, he did the math. It was like I don't know how many millions of guys trying to fight over 8 jobs per year that will actually last past 2 years.
I think it's 16,000. I've heard that video.
Yeah, it's like 8 jobs per year that gonna last past 2 years. Otherwise, you may get in there. Even if you do, you out of there in 2 years. So you spent your whole life for 2 years to make league minimum. And I know a guy who fits this category. One of the best ball players I ever saw. Played for the Washington Wizards. Played 2 years. And he played overseas. But what I'm saying is he's barely in his 30s now. It's over. He's through playing. I'm like, okay, what life skills do you have? Did you budget your money? I don't know his situation. I'm just being in general. Like, did you budget? What did you do? Like that guy that pushed that white girl last week, or they saw the video where he kicked her and stuff like that. He only played 2 years in the NFL. That's it. He's probably not going to play no more. What did he do with those 2 years? See, because you invested so much time trying to learn how to run a route, how to be elusive as a running back, how to lift weights. It takes a lot to be an athlete. I can speak from experience, right? Squat right. It takes a lot just to be able to even get on the floor and hold your own, not be a star. Just to be able to hold your own takes a lot.
Listen, I have had over 10 family members play sports and get offered to play in Canada. And I had a cousin literally go, it ain't worth it. He's like, my legs are already hurt. Why am I going to Canada? It's cold, but I have a nephew right now. Many people know on the channel, I have a nephew. He's 25. I'm trying to protect his identity, but he's actually trying to compete for the Olympics, but he's 25 and he's going, and there's guys that are younger, and the guy's like, you're fast, but you also got, time, 2 more years. Are you still going to be this fast? And he's done. You name it. Our family's been put through the ringer, making sure this kid can get to the Olympics. And when you talk to him, what's next after 2020, it's like he can't focus. He's like, I have to stay 100% into this sport, because if I think about not making the Olympics or just being somebody on the team, like it'll break my heart. And so we just leave him alone. But there is a truth to that. People really put their whole heart in it. And as you try to talk to them about like, okay, what's after 2 years from now? What's after this? Because you're not going to be Usain Bolt. Not that we don't think you're fast. You just may not be Usain Bolt, and be 35 years old, still running, So
that's the black people. That's black people. We have, because of our problem is, the curse is we're probably good. It's not usually the guy that's 5'8" knows he's not going to make it. The problem is the guy that's 6'3".
My nephew's 5'8". Watch yourself.
No, but see, he run. That's different. Because I knew I had a homeboy named Curtis Perry real quick. So I know that. What I'm saying is there are guys that I know that have enough skill to where there is a chance, or some coach. I know guys that went to, what camp was it? The Miami Heat camp, and Pat Riley loved him and said a lot of great things and said a lot of praise about this guy. Just from that one conversation that Pat Riley gave him, this guy is right here almost 40 years old, still trying to play, still trying to go to the NBA. Like, it's over, dude. You didn't make it. You
tried to go overseas?
He went overseas, but because he never really played the NBA, he was making like 85, 90, that type of money. Decent, good money, but it wasn't A-level money. It wasn't like, when you the NBA players, once you got that NBA stamp, you can go overseas and make $500,000 in, like, or more.
That's right.
When you just got the NBA stamp and you didn't get the NBA stamp, and then now they're just looking at college, they'll give you like, but I've seen this guy go to camp and put in work, but once you get north of 25, they look like, okay, yeah, you good, but you're 27. This guy here is 20. Yeah, he's not as good as you, but he's 20 years old. He was 1 and done, or 2 and done. He's finished. I'm gonna take him because he's got more potential, or he's 2 inches taller. Even though you're better and you can get, and that was my story. I was always the guy that was good, but I was just 6'2". Yeah, I had a 40-inch vertical. I could do it. I was a defender. I was not the best shooter. Hey, I'm going to tell the truth. I wasn't. I lock up. I made it hard for guys to score. And if you put me on your team, I'm going to try to help you win. But I wasn't that lockdown. I wasn't that shooter like that. I could slash. I can get to the hole. It didn't matter. They'll take a guy that wasn't as good as me, but he's 6'6". Even though I could probably destroy, I could lock him up, block his shot. They didn't care. He's 6'6", I'm 6'2". They taking the 6'6" guy. That's how these coaches think. So why would you put your life in jeopardy or your time in jeopardy over something that has to do with genetics? It has nothing to do with your real mental capacity, your effort. Sports to me doesn't really reward hard work like people think. Business will, if you work smart. But if you work in sports, you can bust your ass in sports, and some kid come along and he don't work at all, but he just naturally get out the bed and he way better than you. Or he may be just taller. You may be better than him, but he's just 4 inches taller in basketball. That means all the difference in the world. Whereas you go and like, man, I went to camp and averaged 18 points a game, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, and you took this guy averaged 12 points, 4 rebounds, but he's taller than me. That type of we need to stop with this love affair of sports, man. That's the problem I see with our community. If those same brothers that have that love affair of sports have that love affair of business and ownership, not just business, but investment or whatnot.
Yeah.
Where would we be as a people?
Well, look. I'm not gonna hold you for the rest of the day. I gotta run because I actually have some consulting calls today. But your phone about to die. You better not be.
Yeah, it is. It's like 8%. Let me go ahead and made a noise a minute ago.
Radiation. You better get that radiation away from your face. Now, look, you guys, check out Sub-Zero's channel. Cam is gone to his meeting, but he put the links in all over this thing. When this is over, I'm actually going to make this into a blog article. I'm going to put the links. I already screenshotted it. Thank you so much, Cam. Everybody's been putting links in. I've been screenshotting it. And so we will use those links in the comment section. Make sure you go check out Sub-Zero's channel. I mean, there's just such good information we've been putting out today. Thank y'all for all the commentary. But yeah, there is a growing future in booming tech. And I think you don't want 1,000 students, but you probably next year, you might want to brace yourself. There's going to be a lot of people coming your way because just as the economy shifts, people are going to realize I need more money, period. I need some more money. So, all right.
I got an email. Just email me at subzero3639@gmail. Sign up on the website because it looks like some people that already went to the website and signed up. Thank you for putting. And if you, I'm gonna try to just send you my number. I got 2 numbers. I got my 334 number and then I got a 678 number. So I'll give you guys the number and we can talk. I don't really like typing a lot of emails because I'm always out and about. I'll just send you a number and I can answer your questions in seconds. I'm here. I'm available. I'm gonna try to help you as much as possible. God bless y'all and thanks for the opportunity, sister.
No worries. We'll talk again in the future. Thanks, Sub.
Okay, I want to ask you something when you end the video.
Okay, wait till I end the video. All right, everybody. This is Ericka from the Classy Climb blog. I try to bring the hitters on this channel every single day. I try to bring hitters, and so we have another hitter. This almost went 2 hours. Goodness. But the commentary, the links. Thank you for all the super chats, everybody. Thank you for participating in this video. It's important that we learn these skills. These jobs are out here. It's not an IQ thing. I know people love trying to say that, but I want to dispel those myths. So thank you for being here. Again, this is Ericka from the Classy Climb blog, author of the Smartphone Millionaire book, How to Invest in People, Real Estate from the Palm of Your Hand. You guys have an awesome day. Later.